107.7 The Bone. Ozzy, of course, Diary of a Madman. I'm Nikki Black, and before that, we had Motorhead with Stay Clean, and we started off the night with Blackened by Metallica in honor of Mr. Jason Newsted, who is in the studio with me.
Thank you.
Jason's new band, Newsted Metal. The EP is out and awesome.
Having lunch.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Now is a good time for me to put you on the spot and ask you about the bass from the Injustice for All album.
Oh, yeah? Perfect.
Yeah.
No, I'm vulnerable and a little loopy. Some food got me all happy and stuff.
I know. I suckered you in, and then I was like, well, you know, in looking back, it's
Why
been...
did you find it? Is that what you're telling me? Somebody look up. Hey, you know what? It's 25 years later. We found it.
We've been looking for it. And we may have found it. I'm curious because I'm trying to remember. Did you do any of the Injustice for All songs at the 30th anniversary show? Because I remember you playing a lot that were not.
Blackened?
Did you do Blackened?
No, maybe somebody else did.
I was just curious.
No, maybe not. Maybe No Justice. Maybe not.
I wonder.
No Justice.
There was no justice and no bass.
I don't remember. I really don't. I was so excited I can't even remember. I know that we did Whiplash and Creep and Battery and Fight Fire, and that's about what I remember.
I remember
the rest was a happy blur.
I remember you picked like the heaviest songs that you could pick, whether they were covers or Metallica songs or whatever.
The fastest ones is what I wanted, for real. That's what I said in the conversation. The fastest ones, let's go.
So the Newsted Metal project, it's out on iTunes, and it's a 4-song EP.
It is number 1 on the iTunes metal charts. Thank you very much.
Dun dun dun. And I heard we have to be like aggro at Lady Gaga for knocking you off the regular charts. Is that what happened?
She hasn't had enough glory in the last little bit. Step aside. Come on.
Go back to the edge of glory, Gaga.
Oh, wow. Did I set that? A gun and bullet. Here you go.
You did. You set me up for the perfect pun, and I went for it, too, which just, you know, for anybody out there who's confused, Edge of Glory is a Lady Gaga tune. And we all just...
And the metalheads are going, why?
We all just confess that we know that. So there you go.
I'm glad I didn't know it.
Well, I am excited that everybody is really receiving it well. I posted a snippet of it last time I talked to you over the holiday break on my YouTube page, and I've gotten nothing but positive comments from it. And that was just from that little bit of Soldier Head.
Crazy. The people are very happy to hear it. And what I found out the last about 9 or 10 weeks since we got our little social media thing going, everybody's happy to see me. They're like, why did it take so long? Well, we're so happy you're back, you know, that kind of thing. So that's been super cool from all the corners of the globe that I used to have to be there in person on foot saying, how you guys liking the music? You know, but now I can just go, hey, man, how you digging? That's what they tell me before I even ask them. Dude, when are you showing up? Please come and play some metal, you know, that kind of thing. But,
literally all over the globe.
Happy for the old school stuff and happy for the purity. And the word of the week is rawsome. It's rawesomeness. They like the rawesomeness of the music.
You've coined a new term for metal.
Yep. Last week was brofessional. This week is rawsome.
Nice. I'm digging it.
Yes.
Jason is in the studio with us all night. And yes, we will be playing some Newsted Metal music, of course. Okay. But first, we're going to bust out some Iron Maiden up next. It's 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone and the late, great Ronnie James Dio, the nicest guy in heavy metal ever.
Woo! That was
Second
awesome.
Nicest guy is in the studio with me, Jason Newsted.
Wow.
His project, Newsted Metal, is out on iTunes now. It's a 4-song EP, and it is excellent. I have heard the whole thing.
Thank you.
And I really dug the Soldier Head track, my favorite.
Thank you.
Bar none.
Yeah.
It's great because it's not that I ever doubted that you could write music. I did not. But, you know, in some of your previous bands, your music writing was not necessarily showcased.
That's true.
And so
Flotsam, really.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple things in Blackened and My Friend of Misery and those things, and a lot of Voivod stuff, but the as far as the big band, not really. Yep, it's been a while. This was culmination, I think, of all the different cool experiences I've had a privilege to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? As far as the I mean, if you go back to Flotsam and go through it, and you Flotsam and Metallica and Voivod and Echo Brain and Government Mule and Ozzy and Sepultura and DJ Shadow, and, you know, just figure it out. Papa Wheelie!
Don't forget that one.
Yeah, right. But if you go through the decades of all the different styles of music, then it finally came. I don't know, it just hit me, man. I just did, and happened to get it down. It's the first time that I composed songs from top to bottom. I wrote them on guitar, and then did, you know, my own lyrics, and it's me singing and my name on it and everything. First time, my whole career. So pretty crazy.
So you were pretty much through the songwriting process when you brought in the rest of the guys in the band.
Yeah, I've been jamming with the guys there's two guys from Fresno, Jesus Mendez and Jesse Farnsworth. That about 5 years we got in as a trio together, and but we've been playing this since about August or September of last year. And so I wrote all the songs on my iPad real quick in GarageBand and burned the disc for them, and they brought it back their artistry and made the music that you guys are hearing now. And we recorded 11 songs down in Turlock, and yep.
Hopefully not in the summertime.
In the middle of in a cornfield. It was pretty interesting in an old farmhouse, actually. Pretty cool. But yeah, 11 songs down there in just a couple of weeks' time, and the metal EP is the first 4 songs, the first batch that we're sharing with everybody. And so far, it's an amazingly overwhelming, positive vibe coming back at us. Everybody loves it, so I'm happy.
Now
Victorious, yay!
This kind of begs the question. So there is more music.
There is, yeah. There's a bunch more music, and we got a couple more that we're going to work on to make sure they get recorded. My idea is to have 14 or 15 for this year to share. 14 or 15 songs this year to share with everybody, and just kind of depending what happens with deals and stuff, what increments, if we do a full album next or more EPs or what. So many new avenues in music now. I haven't been neck deep in it for 10 or 11 years, man.
It's
changed. And there's so many things. Some old avenues that are the same. There's some that are tried and true that are never going to change. Taking the music to the people, selling T-shirts at the show, trying to keep the wheels going around and all that kind of thing. But as far as getting the music to the people, so different than it ever was.
It's video games and soundtracks and publishing and all kinds of weird little places that people plug music in that you can kind of get your music out to the masses.
Absolutely, and it has to be, it plays a different role now. The actual music, the audio, the recorded music plays a different role now. It's the calling card. It's the head of the spear that has to let everybody know that your music is here. That lets you know, the social networking lets the fans know or let people know that it give us not one way or the other, where you're going to be or where your music's going to be or something. You just got to make that happen. Let the music get out there and scream to everybody, get their attention, and let them know what's happening with live stuff or more stuff that's coming or whatever it is, or where they can get their merch or try to be a part of it, because that really is it, being a part of it. So much with this metal thing. The fans screamed me back into this to get me to do this, and then they've taken over the last 6 or 8 weeks to spread the word. I mean, that's why Soldier Head. I mean, a couple hundred videos in the first couple hundred views of the Soldier Head video. 100,000, Jason. 50 interviews this week, by the way. Cool. But 200,000 views in 2 days for the Soldier Head video because of word of mouth of the fans. That's a giant freaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 on the iTunes metal charts, and the Black Album was number 2, right? And then Bullet for My Valentine came in and went to number 1. But because the video came out and the kids spread the video, the metal EP went back to number 1 again. So it's like, crazy. It is power of word of mouth in this whole thing. Like, I'm talking about things I did not know about. It was there's so much unknown for me, so much discovering for me to do right now. Each day I'm learning new stuff from people on the internet and the Facebook and the Vibe and the different corners that I never thought the music would reach. Oh, my God.
You've been spending the last 10, 15 years in the real world where everybody else was moving into this virtual world.
Yes.
And for people who don't know, because I have had a couple people ask me, you are on Twitter and your handle is at Jason C. Newsted.
Right.
On Facebook, it is facebook.com/Jason Newsted official.
Mm-hmm.
And is the merch up and available now at newstedmetal.com?
So much cool stuff. newstedheavymetal.com. There's a web store. And there is the new stuff for all the Newsted project with the, trinkets and swag and new shirts and music and everything. But there's also old archival things from the Chop House that we're kind of bringing back. The Irate stuff and Sexoturica and some of the older recordings. And then some tour goodies from past Voivod tours, Echo Brain tours, Papa Wheelie tours, all that's available too. So if anybody gives a snot about collecting things,
you're breaking out the storage.
We got all that going. Yeah, we call it Jason's Basement, BASSMENT, the basement.
I see what you did
just
there.
Trying to dig up all kinds of, all those old things that people kind of been asking about through the years, and I didn't have the way to get it to them. Now I have a way to get to them in all corners, and there you go. So it's been pretty exciting, man. Really kind of overwhelming these last couple of weeks. A lot of things coming into play, a lot of offers on the table now to play some shows, and so we're just trying to get our ducks in a row and see if it all works out and it makes sense, we're going to come and play for the people. If it doesn't, I'm just going to keep making the studio music.
So in the meantime, are you kind of itching to play like a local big gig somewhere?
No matter what, we're gonna do some stuff around. Do a
Okay.
couple 100-mile radius and always play for the people, just so we can prove it to ourselves. And I want to get there's new roles for me here. I'm gonna be the front man, and I'm playing guitar and doing some vocals. I'm playing mostly bass, but I'm playing guitar. Played almost all the rhythm guitar on the record, and most of the bass. And Jesse Farnsworth did the rest of the stuff. We kind of switch, back and forth in the studio, and plan on switching back and forth live too, bass and guitar and everything. So lead vocal, all that stuff is very new to me, and there's going to be a lot of busting off the rust to be done.
And a lot of rehearsal
A
time.
lot of rehearsal time, a lot. And I've got a lot scheduled, so I hope they can. I think I've chosen some people that can hang. So
Through the magic of the internet, you have to check out the Newsted Metal Project. And we are going to play some coming up here in a few minutes. We've got, right now, some Down. This is because Down is going to be playing, and I have my notes. Oh, Down is this Sunday at the Regency. I'm looking for the openers, but I forgot I gave
Beast.
I forgot I gave it to Jason.
Come on!
Down in War Beast this Sunday at the Regency. Tickets are on sale now at goldenvoice.com. And this is Witch Tripper on 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone. That is Municipal Waste with Fatal Feast.
I have a new favorite band.
Do you?
Yeah.
You liked them that much?
Well, they're second to Newsted, but
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
One of your new favorites.
Yeah, one of my new favorites. For this week, you know how we work.
Exactly.
I like that a lot, man. Very
Um,
good. Thanks for letting me discover.
You can come see Municipal Waste. They're going to be with Anthrax, Exodus, High on Fire, and Holy Grail at the Regency on March 28th. How's that for a
Wow,
lineup?
between Municipal Waste and High on Fire, I think those other guys got a little work to do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, they've been around for a while, but them other guys got some work to do keeping up, because I know both those bands are badass now.
The old folks will be hitting the gym.
Yeah, I tell you what,
know.
man, High on Fire. Wicked! Wicked!
Merciful Fate with Evil before that. Newsted Metal with Soldier Head before that. Anthrax, Among the Living. Caius. That was just for you.
Oh, I like it.
And we also had Down with Witch Tripper and Down in War Beast on Sunday at the Regency. Tickets are on sale for both of those shows, for the Down show and the Anthrax show at goldenvoice.com if you want to pick them up. And Jason Newsted in the studio with us tonight.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
So happy to be here. Just happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, you have been interviewed up and down and back and forth and sideways for the last almost 3 weeks now?
Yep. Since the record came out, there's a lot of attention coming our way. So I tried. That's one of the old school things I'm sticking to, is taking it to the people like that and talking to everybody, make sure I make my rounds and let everybody know, and take a little swag and rekindle the relationships. Ours, a lot of relationships like yours and mine through radios and different people and stuff like that for decades of connecting, depending what the projects were. But this time, a little bit more serious, a little bit different kind of attitude towards this one. Feeling like a kid again with this one, in a lot of ways.
What are some of the things that you haven't touched on? Is there anything that you haven't touched on with all these interviews and all these questions?
Well, there's a couple things that I want to make sure that I get clear, since we're here together and talking about it in home turf. This happened. We brought up the Fillmore show with Metallica in December of 2011 on the 30th reunion thing, and we were talking a little bit about the songs that we played and the fun that we had there. And it was a fan club show, like a lot of people know, but I'll just refresh everybody. Fan club show, and it was over 4 different nights over a week. And so there's like 30 or 35 countries represented in the building on the floor, and a lot of different languages and dialects, screaming and all that kind of thing. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. And when the fans came with the energy, I mean, you were there, and anybody that was there, it's undeniable. I'm just observing right now. I'm not talking anything other than just observation. But they came at me with such energy. I hadn't tasted that sweetness for so long that, I mean, my phrase is, they screamed me back into this. I'm cool doing my paintings, man. I'm cool playing Papa Wheelie. I'm cool just doing what I do, But they really, I mean, it was that. And as soon as I felt that again, I went right away to Phoenix. I put the original Flotsam band together. We did a couple of weekends where we played the whole Doomsday album in its entirety, just looking at each other, original band, having a good time. That was my first option I was going to try out. Didn't quite pan out. So I started working with these guys right here, Jesus and Jesse, and started getting serious. And here we are about a year later. And I got this music for you guys, but that's what it was, man. It's the Metallica fans asking me to do this again in their own kind of, hey, son, crazy way like that. It was nuts.
Well,
But
and
that is what happened for
real.
real.
It was exactly like that. And I don't know if maybe you're too modest to say, but every single night when you took the stage and when you left the stage, they chanted Jason, Jason over
crazy.
and over and over. You could not stop them. It was amazing.
It really was. And I'm not going to ignore something like that. I will not. So I am going to give it one last good shot, and that's what I'm starting right now. I'm just starting this launch. It's a couple weeks in, and I'm just trying my best the ways that I know how from the old days and the new ways that I'm learning to try to share with everybody. Most importantly, reconnecting with the fans. Like I always spent that time. I had a thing where I always give everybody 60 seconds. That was one of my things. And I always give them the time, look in their eyes, ask them what was their favorite song, why their brother liked the band, these kind of things, man. And now it's coming back to me 1,000-fold. Those seeds that I planted back then, this fruit's coming now, and it's not only the people that grew up with this as the original fans of Metallica, but now it's their sons, and even beyond that. So it's generationally, we've been around long enough that we can have fans like that. A lot of fans that are digging it now and like the throwback and like the old school, and that never saw me play yet.
Yeah.
It's been since '03 since I played with Ozzy in any kind of real metal fashion. And any kind of big shows or amphitheaters or anything, 10 years, man, since I really took it to the people. So I get a chance to do that again now that I've had all these other experiences in between with the music and Voivod, learning from everybody that I learned from, and now bringing it to them in my own way. And that really is the real deal. I want it to be as pure as possible for the right reasons. Anybody that wants to share it can come and share it, And if they don't, and that's all cool too, please go show your love to Mastodon or Emperor or Crowbar or whoever it is you like, you know what I'm saying? But there's it's got to be on the positive tip. As long as I keep getting the positive vibes, I'll keep trying to share the music the best I can. That's all I do, though. I mean, that's the only way I want to do it, too. Because if it starts getting all crazy and nutty, there's no reason I have to do it.
Right.
I'm doing it because I want to do it for the people one more time.
Because everyone's familiar with the stories and trials and tribulations of the music industry. It looks great from the outside, but once you get a peek under the covers, it's often a very difficult and miserable experience, and you can be in front of 20,000 people and still feel alone.
It's not for everyone, I'll say that for sure. But in my experience, I've had way more positive than negative. There's been always the trials, but you got to get up, one more time than you fall down each time. But that, you got to just grow a tougher skin and all the things that you learn from. Most of those tests and hardships give you character to make you better later, and then being able to be a well-rounded player as you throw yourself into challenges. And that's kind of what this is about right now. I've created this challenge for myself that's bigger than anything I've really faced in a long time. Being a front man, remembering all those lyrics and doing my own thing and really presenting it. It's my name on there. I never thought I would put my own name on a band. I really, 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 really didn't.
And with everybody in the band's first initial being J, there had to be some temptation
There's so much
there
silly contenders. Yeah, we got all kind of silly names and stuff, but I never had any problem coming up with band names. And the ones that people know with Echo Brain and Papa Wheelie and different, we have so many on our projects and that's not been an issue. But this one, I wanted to make sure there's no mistake because of all the other styles of music I've played. Some people didn't like Echo Brain and some people did like Voivod, but some people did like Government Mule or didn't like DJ Shadow or whatever it happened. So this is a global thing. I've spent 30 years building a career and a character of this style of music that no matter what language you speak or dialect or what country you're in, right, if you have tapped into metal circles in the past 30 years, you know what Newsted means. You know what the word metal means no matter what. If you speak any English, you still know what metal means. You put those two together, it's a good idea. You know what you're going to get when you come to share this thing. I really wanted to make it very, very clear like that, and it's working.
So we just played Soldier Head a little while ago, and so since you wrote all the music, and I haven't played all of the songs yet, but we are going to play another one coming up here pretty soon. One thing that I noticed in listening to them is that the songs feel very different. It's obviously all metal, and the vibe I think we talked about off air that everybody seems to be coming back with is very old school.
That's it, man.
But it's also varied. There's a lot in there and a lot of different styles. And I mean, I'm only assuming that it comes from all the different music that you've been playing over the last 15 years when everybody kind of thought you dropped off the radar.
Yeah, for sure. It's just things that I've been doing in all our jams that we do, our improv things. It's perpetual in the Chop House, of all different styles. And that's how I got to where I am now. I keep doing that and having fun, and always have my poem book in front of me and just rip through it and try to build my voice. I mean, like this singing, I'm actually singing in my real voice for the first time. I always did "die," forever. The Cookie Monster stuff was just my thing, and that's what I'm known for. And I can still go to that whenever I want to, right, like that. But I want to sing in my own voice. It's a new voice inside this old school body. It really is. But you can only be what you are, and I'm old school. You could buy a bullet belt and do your thing, whatever like that, man. But you can only be old school if you are.
I think you
So
can even
that's
find
it.
the white Reeboks still.
That I'm sure of it. But I still have mine, so that's the difference.
So, I mean, since you brought up age, you're tackling a young man's project from a young man's point of view.
Yeah.
With all the young man's vigor, have you run into any roadblocks?
I had pretty serious shoulder issues through the decade there, the aughts, and 3 different surgeries going back and forth, painkiller addiction and other ugliness that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. So to get back my chops and to get the Monster back and everything, the Monster's about 95% now. So I'm feeling real good about that, but it's a big victory with that, coming over that and getting back to my base self again and everything. It really is a pretty big deal.
Jason Newsted is in the studio with us tonight. His project is Newsted Metal, and you can buy the 4-song EP now on iTunes, and you can check out the entire project and get the merch at newstedheavymetal.com.
Yeah, and there's a web store there, and we just released the physical CD started going for order this week. There's only a couple left. The first pressing limited edition is almost gone. I've autographed all of those, and we are shipping them out starting Tuesday the 22nd. And so if you want to get one, you should probably get to newstedheavymetal.com on the web store pretty quick. We will do some other pressings later, and we are going to do some vinyl later. But this limited edition is a guaranteed thing because I've signed them all. I know they're there.
And at this point, with negotiations, you may at some point have to stop making music until you can make music again with the record label or wherever you end up going with it, right?
Yeah, the next swing, the next wallop has to be a more serious wallop. And like we were talking about the music before, that each song may be different tempos and varied a little bit. It's all heavy music, though, and all of it that we've been making is all heavy music. It has melody and it has different places that it goes, certainly, and the speed in places, but heavy is retained, So no matter where we go with it, that's all I have to do on this bit. This batch of songs from this year, they all will fall into that place.
And heavy is what we do here in the Bone Metal Zone. Jason Newsted is in the studio tonight. Pantera is up next. 107.7 The Bone and Gojira with L'Enfant Sauvage. That is the title track from their new album. Jason Newsted in the studio. Kind of impressed with those kids, huh?
I got a new favorite band even after the last one now. No, but for real, that's my new favorite band right there. Well, I got some work to do. Wow.
Yeah, that's what the kids are doing these days.
The Spawn is impressive. Let me tell you something, man. That is really tough.
Gojira.
So what's that? The Savage Baby is the name of the song?
L'Enfant Sauvage, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously
savages.
They're French.
Yes.
And they will be in town on Wednesday with the Devin Townsend Project and the Atlas Moth at the Fillmore.
Wow.
And as
that's
you
some
can
talent.
see,
Wow, that's some serious talent in one room.
As you can see by Jason Newsted's reaction, the Devin Townsend Project is not to be missed.
Oh.
And I felt bad because for a long time I just never got into the Devin Townsend stuff. I saw Strapping Young Lad and I was like, cool, good metal, whatever. And I never really embraced it. And then I can't even remember what show it was, but they were opening for, I want to say Children of Bodom, I think. I think Devin Townsend Project opened for Children of Bodom at Slim's and just knocked me on my ass.
Yeah, that Devin is just absolute genius. There's no question about it. Very few people are as accomplished as him on a guitar. I mean, just period. You pick out whatever style and have somebody come up and play it, and flamenco and super metal and rock and pop and whatever, and he'd just go, okay, here you go. Stand on his head and do it. I mean, for real, literally. So that's just mad genius for sure. And now he's had 20-some years to hone that genius, and he's just come up with incredible things. And there's not enough time in a day to capture everything he's got going on in his mind. He has so much different projects going on, but he's one of the cats that I respect the most. As a guy that's quite a bit younger than me, I learned from him. I looked up to a much younger player. I was one of the first guys I did that with in the Chop House. And when we did the Irate Project, 1994 it is now, and it just was, he kicked my butt back then, So to have those two bands in one place at once, man, get your hat on.
This
Seriously.
Wednesday.
Whew.
Tickets are on sale at livenation.com. We had Voivod with The Getaway before that. That was a request for Mr. Newsted.
Yeah, I'm calling that headbang for your buck. So, thank you. TM, Jason Newsted Enterprises. Thank you very much.
Any thoughts on the Voivod? You're killing me. Any post thoughts on your Voivod time?
Possibly the greatest collective musical experience I've had in my career. The best learning experience. Also a great challenge. You know, they speak French as their first language. A, B, C, D on the guitar to them is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And Piggy tuned his guitar his own way. It's not, when you look at it like that, and that's an A chord. No, it's not. So all of those challenges like that was a great, great thing. And then being around Snake, who to me is the greatest word weaver in heavy metal music. Voivod has always had such a unique, kind of a ahead of their time, futuristic vibe, no matter how technology goes. Because Michel was doing album covers back in the 80s with a computer for their band. He was so far ahead of everything, and their music was the same.
Back when all we knew about was Pong.
That kind of thing, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, he really knew his stuff. And so to be around somebody that's so developed like that, and Snake in the way that he does his thing, it's just that was a great learning experience for years and years. We made 3 cool records together, and did good things. It was I give them props all the way. And they were just here in Oakland not too long ago, went and saw them and everything, and they're still just crushing it. It is very unique still. It's just once they turn it on live, you have to know where you're going, because if you're not familiar with the music, it's holy crap, for real. So props to them.
So is there anything else that are you, I mean, I don't even know, are you listening to music like on an iPod, or are you going CDs, or are you still like living the vinyl life, or do you have like a combination of things?
Yeah, a combination of stuff now, all different kinds of things now. And I like how the Pandoras and all that take you different places and find origins of music, and you go deep enough down into it, and you go all the way to the gospel and to a cappella blue and all this kind of cool stuff where our actual music came from. I really dig that kind of vibe. But as far as the new, like the Spawn stuff and the newer bands, Mastodon, I'm digging a lot. I like their orange amps. I like their crunch. I like the bass player sings. I like how they don't take themselves too seriously. They got tongue-in-cheek thing, great lyrical funness, cool videos, but still really cool guitar parts and thought-out things that are almost unique in this day and age, hard to do. They have their own sound identifiable. Some cool different singing. I really like it that they're singing, not just growling. That makes a big difference. The Sword, still flying their flag, probably always will. I like Red Fang. I like their videos, and I like the way that they go about it with a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing, but real slabby stoner metal, man. Cool, pure, real pure. I dig that. Black Mountain with the female vocal and the male vocal, and that kind of throwback thing with the B3 organ, real funky and groovy, awesome. So that, I mean, it's quite, and Muse can do no wrong in my eyes. They can get as heavy as any heavy band, and they can do all kind of diverse things too. So I have a lot of respect for them too. And Gojira and Municipal Waste. My new favorite. Yeah, and Municipal Waste too, man. Yep, those are my 2 new favorites.
And I'm just going to humble brag. Look at Jason Newsted discovering new bands in the Metal Zone.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you.
And Jason Newsted's new band, Newsted Metal, available now with a 4-song EP on iTunes. Go get it. Pay for your music, because so few people do these days. And it's awesome and totally worthy.
Thank you.
Hoping to have a new album out in the next year, but sooner having some tour dates to follow, but everything's still kind of in that juggling up in the air phase.
So many cool things coming our way and a lot of offers. I have a 5 kind of prong idea that we're open to for show-wise that I'd like to see. So we got festivals that are international, domestic. We got supporting heroes, like, playing with Motorhead or somebody that they would bring us out with just for a few or whatever. I'm open to that thing. Headlining House of Blues kind of, festival. I mean, not festival, but tour circuit vibe. BCDE markets, man. Turlock and Modesto and wherever next to Wichita.
Santa Cruz.
Yes, that too. Any of that kind of stuff. And then we want to work out USO military base kind of vibe, where we do a lot of playing for a lot of soldiers. The Soldier Head video is getting a lot of attention from a lot of military personnel, and we're really down with that. And I want to do that, man. It's kind of a cool thing that I've always wanted to be a part of. And I've seen other people do it, and Zach and them guys, and I've always kind of been a little envious. That's one of the things I haven't gotten to do, and my quest is still the same. I want to play it wherever I can possibly play it. So if we get that chance to do that thing, I've met literally, thousands of soldiers in my travels around the world, and they're always so real about their support for the metal. It's through and through. And I know it gets them through a lot of things we can't even imagine, adverse times. So I'm proud to give back like that. I think all the guys in our band are willing to go out and give some of that if we can arrange it. That's the thing. There's so many offers out there. It has to make sense, It has to make sense after all the hard work that I've done. They have to come with a little respect, a decent place on the bill, reputable venue. My band can be safe and that type of stuff, and I'll take it there. Other than that, we'll just make records in the studio for the rest of the time. So if live shows are cool, we're at least still a handful, like we were talking about earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Always do a handful around the local.
You'll get a little van tour
just
going.
Just like the punk ethic we always talk about. You build your circle small. First you do this circle like that, and you got 50 mile, 100 mile, and eventually you're in New York, then you're in London. Just make the circle bigger and bigger. It still has to be that way. I'm not starting over. I'm starting fresh, right?
And the circle is Bay Area counterclockwise pit.
Yeah,
Circle.
that's exactly. There you go. That works for me too. But go, to the top of the mountain that I climbed with Metallica, man. And when I got up there, I just stepped off, and that's kind of where I let myself off. You say, well, Jason, people haven't known where you've been for the last while and all that since Ozzy or whatever. I just stepped off the mountain right there, and I've just been coasting, just hanging, taking the high road. I haven't talked. Always keep it cool with Metallica, no matter which direction they go with stuff. Always just keep it cool. We're in a better place than we've been in our whole lives, I think, as far as that goes. Business partners forever. They got their new label going, a new record they're working on, new things. Their band's kicking. I got a new band I'm excited about. James is healthy. I'm healthy. 12 years later, we look back and see the dust settled. I guess it was the right thing to do, wasn't it?
Does Metallica garner getting back all of their catalog? I love that look on your face right now. I wish you guys could all see that.
I'll buy some drinks later.
So getting the catalog back is clearly affecting you in a positive way, and is there a dialogue going about re-releasing, remastering?
I don't have anything to do with
like that.
I don't have anything to do with decision making
Okay.
within their camp at all. We have things where that we did way back when that lasts forever. So that's how we're business partners. But they do their own thing, and I kind of try to keep an eye on them a little bit. And people bring it to my attention, the things that they're doing and stuff like that. But they do their own thing, and I support them in whatever it is that they're doing. That's all there is to it. They're still out there conquering the universe. Bless them. Still setting the standard.
Jason Newsted is in the studio with us tonight. The new project is Newsted Metal. Check it out on iTunes, ASAP. You can also check it all out and get your merch and get your Jason's Basement merch at newstedheavymetal.com. And in case you didn't know, Jason really is Jason on Twitter and on Facebook. So you can check him out and ask him questions and say hi to him. Hit at Jason C. Newsted on Twitter and Facebook.com/Jason Newsted Official. And, well, he's here now. So I don't know. You got any questions? Give us a call. Right now, it's Meshuggah on 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone. 107.7 The Bone. That is Seven Dust in the Metal Zone. Seven Dust is going to be with Coal Chamber and Lacuna Coil at the Regency in San Francisco. Tickets went on sale today at Ticketmaster.com. And I have tickets right now at 888-303-BONE. I did promise you guys I was giving away tickets tonight, right? I know I got all distracted having Jason Newsted in the studio, which
let's
is
give away
easy
some
to do.
tickets. Come on now.
But, my whole thing is support live metal, support live music, support the Bay Area scene.
Yes.
Because that is like the one thing, I don't know if you've gotten this, but that's the one thing I get a lot of is that there's no scene anymore. Everybody misses the scene and, people don't go to shows enough. And I don't, do you get that? Do you hear that from people?
I think it's probably true. A lot of places it seems like that's kind of happening. But there are a lot of places to play to at the same time if you chase it enough. So, but I think the scene, those come and go, man. There's a certain scene right now that's in whatever the music is. There's always going to be a metal scene, no matter where it rears its head and how high it rears its head. It just happens to be that we're in the swing of, my theory, 22-year cycles. You go back 22 years of each. If you go back 22 years, and each thing I go back 22, 22, 22. And tell me what music was dominating then. Okay, so 22 years from right now was you over there, Sparky.
90.
That would be 91. He's not a Meshuggah fan with the math thing. He's just a little bit. Math just
He's not a math
can
guy.
be hard. But what record came out in 91? Black Album. That's right. 22 years ago.
Coincidentally.
Okay, coincidentally. And so now we come back with the metal and this kind of thing like that. And you go back before that, and how many would that be then? We're like at 79.
Yeah.
Would that be about right?
Ish.
If
78?
Ish, 78, 79.
If
And
we're
so
going back
what was
22
happening?
year.
So Black Sabbath
Yeah.
and Heaven and Hell and what else is going on? Ted Nugent just finishing
78,
up Slabs
I
of
was
Metal, and yeah. So, but and it'd keep going like that. So 56 before that. Okay, that's Dwayne Eddy. That's electric guitar, Heroes. That's all that kind of thing. If you do it, I have a belief in 22 cycles, and it happens with each kind of music too. If you can do the same thing with hip hop, same thing with grunge, that kind of stuff. So, there, I'm
Okay.
just saying, and that's what's happening now. We got metal. Has this show, it has the metal TV show, there's all kind of festivals all over the place internationally, way more than there ever was before, more American metal type festivals than there ever was before, really, weekend per weekend as the summer comes around. So it kind of depends how we measure the scene. It's a different thing maybe than it used to be where your band is what you wear. You know what I mean? You dress to your band. If you're goth, that's what you are, and that's how you look, and it's identifiable.
Yeah.
And we know that's the band you like.
Uh-huh.
And if you come that way and you get to Metallica thing, it's coming back a little bit in the way of where you buy your embroidered patches, you do it yourself on your jean vest, and that's your identity on the band you like. This one, and this one the most with the big patch on the back.
The patches
are
way coming
back.
Right,
so that's, these kind of things in the scene will rise and fall and do that depending on the regions that you're in. You know what I'm saying? I bet you the whole bunch of Spanish and South American metal fans that have their patches all lined up, and a bunch of cats in the Midwest and Chicago metalheads that do it, and certain patches of them around here that patches of people with patches around here too. You know, it's true, man. It's true.
So where do you see metal going in the next 5-10 years? What do you think?
It will always stay strong, but I think there's a good foundation now for it to rise a little bit in this pocket. I'm not sure 10 years from now exactly where it'll be, but the next few years it will be strong, keeps rising. Like there's a lot of attention for it right now, really seems like. There's a lot of shows. You're announcing a lot of shows. There's a lot of cool bands you've played tonight, new people I hadn't paid attention to yet. So that gives me hope, at least. I mean, real hope, pure hope. There's a few bands that are really kicking that much butt. Gojira!
And there's a big audience out there for the Newsted Metal Project. You just have to bring it to them, right?
There is, 30 years or so of Metallica going around the world, taking it. I've been around the world 5 times, played in 45 countries or something like that, and spent a lot of time taking it to the people and building that following. And so now, yes, they're there ready for me to share this offering, and that I feel very, very honored and privileged, but I also worked real hard for it.
Got any good road stories?
What do you want to know about, man? I mean, sure. There's
any random one pop up?
There's crazy heavy stuff. I'm gonna give you a really kind of scary type of stories. If you want to have one of those, you got about 35 seconds or 40.
I got plenty.
So Indonesia, there's one that comes out that I remember quite a bit. We played in the soccer stadium, and the powers that be in their government didn't want us to come down anyway, and they tried to keep us from coming down. We're the first time that we were breaking barriers in a lot of places. Metallica took down the walls for metal as ambassadors of metal many, many times for Sepultura and Slayer and everything to follow. So in Indonesia, Diana Ross had been there before, UB40 and stuff like that had played, but not Metallica. And so the elders did not want us there. It's a Muslim nation. They were not going to have the white American devils come in and bring in devil music. And that's what they said. But somehow we got invited by the prime minister and his son. Anyway, his son really finagled it to get us down there because he's a big rock fan. So we get down there. The tickets are $2 U.S. to get into a soccer stadium. It's 25,000-seat soccer stadium. They sold 10,000 tickets because that's all anybody can afford. That $2 American is an awful lot down there.
Yeah.
And so at that time, anyway, this is the early 90s. And so they take us over to the soccer stadium. We start doing the thing like we always did. There's a sound check. There's a stage set up. There's guitars. You played like that. It could have been Joliet or Wichita or San Jose that you're playing. Same set, same lights, same road crew, same microphones, same tunings. All that the same. Now there's the people. We're playing the show. Except in those places, it's a little different. You get the riot act read to you before you go on, and especially when it's a Muslim nation or something like that.
Right.
No swearing from the stage. No spitting. Don't take your shirt off. Don't grab the flag. Everybody always throws a flag up during the show for you to hold up at the end. Do not touch the flag. There's different kind of things. You just don't mess around. And if you hear bullets, you hear guns go off, follow that red tape to the white car. That's a safety car to get the heck out of the stadium. So these kind of things, and they're letting you know that, because the security aren't the yellow T-shirted staff guys. They're fully armed cats, military cats. So 10,000 people in the arena, and the tickets were sold. This is during the daytime, so we weren't quite in the show yet. We were preparing like we always would for a show. Somebody goes on the public radio. The show is not sold very well, so now it's free.
Oh.
Little to the information or knowledge of the band or the promoter or the security or the soccer guys or anything. So within a few hours, there's 40,000 people outside the 25,000-seat arena where there's already 10,000 people inside who paid for their tickets. There's 1,100 police, and there's 40,000 people. The soccer stadium is built in the affluent neighborhood of the diplomats and the police chief and all that kind of thing.
Because soccer is
huge.
Yeah.
So we were doing our thing, just like whatever. We go on, do our show. We start doing our show. Get about fifth or sixth song in, fade to black, somewhere around there. We look out over the horizon there, and there's a glow behind the wall of the football stadium. Okay, they start setting everything on fire. They turn all the houses upside down. They turn the police cars upside down. They set the police station on fire. They knock down the walls, the chain walls of the stadium, and pour over the wall into the stadium. Meanwhile, we're on stage just jamming like any old time, right? And we see the wall come down and the fire come up and the people come over. And they're just rushing towards the stage. And so the road crew's going, that's as good as bullets, guys.
Yeah.
Right? So we throw the guitars down and start running towards the safety car. And the last thing I look back at the road crew and Zach, our main dude that's been there for 30 years, big dude. His middle name to us is Don't Even Look Tough. Okay? So he's standing up across the front of the stage, and he's unscrewing the mic stand and stretching it out across just like that, standing in front of the amp, and all the road crew lines up across the front of the stage ready to defend against 30,000 people coming at him or whatever. So they grab us, put robes over the top so we're completely covered, and there's, we have like armed security guys with their special what's it called?
Like special forces or something?
Secret Service guys. And they're assigned to each one of us. We have our own personal Secret Service. And they get us into these ambulances, but they're not like our awesome ambulances, tall ceilings and Dodge 350s and stuff. They're little Mitsubishi, Nissan, something or other with one headlight. And they pull up the bottom of the gurney, underneath the gurney, and they throw it. James and I were in one, and Lars and Kirk were in another, and they throw us under the panel that the gurney rolls back on top of. So they throw us under that panel, cover us with these like tarps, and then put the metal and the gurney back over the top. Dude hits the, and they honk the horn and start driving out of the place. So in this melee, there's thousands of people running everywhere. Everything's on fire. Cops have these big bamboo sticks, and they're just swinging at people. And all I can hear is we're hitting people off of the car as they're driving up. Woo! Right? And just hitting people on our way out.
And you have no
but
idea
no
what they're
idea
saying.
We're underneath the freaking thing inside the ambulance, not, So we get to the hotel.
In a compartment like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, in the black, in the dark. I mean, pitch black, dark, and we're just talking to each other going, what the hell are we doing? We're frightened, very frightened. Get back to the hotel, surrounded by Secret Service guys talking into their sleeves and stuff, And so they finally get us in safe, and the manager gets us in a room and goes, so here's what happened, and starts explaining what took place. So just as we did any other time, and, we read the review in the paper the next day in Chicago, Metallica kicking ass, whatever, in whatever town. You pick the town.
Yeah.
You pick the town. I don't care. One of those 45 countries, you pick the town. So on the front of this paper the next morning, it's the logo, the lightning bolt logo across the thing.
Uh-huh.
And it says Metallica Madness in bright red with the football stadium on fire. Right? And then it goes on to say, told you so.
Oh.
White Devils brought the White Devil music. Told you they were going to ruin your kids. Look what they've done to them. Look, you should have listened to us and all that stuff. Yeah, 3 years later, they invited us back.
And then when you came back, it was a different experience, I hope.
Don't matter what you...
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Newsted. 107.7 The Bone. That is Prong in the Metal Zone. Jason Newsted also in the Metal Zone, but as like a live person all night long.
For sure. Yeah.
The new project, Newsted Metal, you can buy it now on iTunes. You can find Jason. He is now actually personally on Twitter at Jason C. Newsted, and on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Jason Newsted Official. And it is really you.
It is really me. I
Absolutely.
talk to everybody every every day. I designate a little bit of time, usually about 90 minutes a day, and answer as many as I can in that time, and try to get caught up. I am getting caught up with people. So that's, just send me a little something, send me some positive vibes or a question or something, and I'll get back to you. Thank you very much.
And that's on the Facebook page is where they can usually find the Soldier Head video. I saw you posted it there.
Yep, and the YouTube channel. I got a Jason Newsted YouTube channel, so you can check out the full Soldier Head video there as well, and some other little things. And each couple of days we give you a studio update on what's happening. There's a lot going on right now in these few weeks. And
and we almost forgot the website.
Spread the word. NewstedHeavyMetal.com. Check it out.
Definitely do some internet stalking on this guy because now you can.
Thank you so much. That was very nice.
For a while, you were very hard to find on the internet because you weren't there. There was like this old Chop House site that was like just kind of a page.
I tried to shut it down and it wouldn't go. It wouldn't leave. The thing that wouldn't leave.
It was like an internet ghost town site.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
But now we got it going and we're happy about it. Really, really, really charged up to make this connections with people again.
And this is the one thing I know you were very happy. You've almost been waiting all night to talk about this. It is from the Newsted Metal EP. Mm-hmm. The song is King of the Underdogs. You want to tell people about it so we can play it?
I just really like it a lot. We're going to send this one out to Frankie tonight, who's been helping us out a lot with the project, and it's his favorite song. So King of the Underdogs from Newsted on the Metal Zone.